I got a problem, I got a strange addiction. Somebody help me, I need an intervention. It ain't alcohol or weed, there's just one thing that I need. I got an addiction to fruit trees. Got an addiction to fruit trees. I take a persimmon to breathe. Hey, the next one I'm getting jujube. Got an addiction to fruit trees. LVA, you look nasty. Peace, family. I'm out here working, sweating. You know me, if I don't sweat, I'm not working. But then it started raining. So I figured, you know, it's raining. It's not raining too bad. We got some overcast. It's warm, but it's pleasant out here. This would be a good opportunity to get some more seeds in the ground. But then I figured it also would be a good opportunity to talk about an important subject, which is, can we plant seeds, or can we plant period into wood chips? So I guess that's the question. Can you plant into wood chips? As far as the answer, you know, it's kind of complicated, but not complicated in my opinion. What we want to remember first off is that in order for a seed to germinate, it's got to make contact with soil. So I mean, in that cut and dry kind of sense, you know, you would say no, you can't plant into wood chips. In order for a seedling to grow and to be nourished effectively, it's got to have contact with soil. So, you know, like I said, looking at it in that sense, no, we wouldn't be able to plant into wood chips. But there's a way around it, and I want to show you what I've been doing to kind of work with that. As you know, my channel, I'm big on perennials, but I do try to incorporate some annuals as well. This year I'm trying to do annuals and I'm trying to do flowers, but you know, like I said, my main focus is perennials. But I want to plant some flowers today, and I'm gonna show you how I'm doing that. Hold on just a moment. All right, so if we look at this little area here, this is my little oasis area. We've got fig tree here. We got right here a dwarf mulberry. We've got some mint here. This is my persimmon tree. We've got rhubarb here, another persimmon. We got blueberries, blueberry here, and in between there, I figured, you know, this would be a pretty decent place to plant some coneflower, some echinacea, and maybe even its cousin, chamomile. So here's what I did. Y'all know that I was getting all this good woody material from the landfill. You know, a lot of it is like broken down leaves or shredded leaves. You know, we got branches, we got, you know, wood chips. It's all that stuff in here. This is good material, but it hasn't broken down the soil yet. But I want flowers there. You know, I've already planted blueberries in there. I planted the persimmon in there. I put some rhubarb in there. And now I want to put some flowers in there. And I'm going to do that in other spots as well. But right here, I want to put some coneflowers. So here's what I did. Dug a trench. You know, dig a trench in your woody material if this is what you want to do. This is what I've been doing. Just dig a trench. Got plastic here. And try to get it down deep enough, because what we're going to do, sorry about the motorcycle if y'all can hear that, but we're going to add some soil. Now this is a mix of native soil, some peat moss. We also have some biochar. We've got some black cow, and I think that's pretty much it. We got a little bit of perlite, but not much. And we're gonna add that. We're gonna put that in the trench. Now, if you can, when you dig your trench or dig your hole, try to get it down deep enough to where you make contact with your native soil, because that's the whole point. You know, we're trying to build up our soil. Even in doing this is gonna be helpful in building up soil. So you want that new soil to come into contact with your existing soil and, you know, work with it that way. So we dug out our trench, and I didn't want to bore you with doing that, so I did that before we started the video. And I want to get down deep enough to where I can feel the soil, even if it's a little bit, you want to feel your current soil. You want to feel your existing soil. All right? And so then we'll fill that trench with this new soil. I'm gonna do that, and then I'll come back and we'll take a look at it. All right, here we go. So I didn't want to bore y'all with like filling it up, but this is basically what we have. This is probably about 10 to 12 inches worth of soil. Like I said, you know, we made sure that it got down to the actual native soil layer. And the seeds I put down, I just put chamomile down here. I'll put echinacea somewhere else. And that's basically what we're doing here. I'm gonna go ahead and cover it with soil, and then we'll water it. I'm gonna water it because it's raining, but it's not raining. It's like drizzling. It's raining enough for me to be able to comfortably come out here and work without getting drenched. So that, you know, that water you saw in me was my own sweat. It wasn't it wasn't necessarily the rain. But I'm covering it up, and then we'll water that, and you know, we'll use something to mulch over it. Maybe some you know, maybe some grass or something like that to kind of mulch over it and keep it covered. But that's pretty much what we're doing for that. I'm gonna show you one other thing in another spot as well. All right, here's another area. This is an area that I prepared months ago. This was specifically for my Hollier, my LSU Hollier fig tree. And I put it here, I explained before, because this kind of gets shaded a little bit more than the other areas does. And, you know, but I think it should still do good here. But I want to show you something real quick. Look at this. As soon as I open up this hole, little buddies started hopping out. They were hopping out not just from that hole, but even on the sides here. But this actual spot is breaking down really good, but not, it hasn't broken all the way down. So I still want to do the same thing. So we dug a hole here. I don't know if you're able to tell, but this is the native soil. And it's, you know, it's not really as compacted as it was. That's the native soil. So I'm going to fill this with new soil. I want to make sure that it makes contact with the native soil. Now these, the worms are definitely a good sign, of course, as we all know. But they're actually going to love that new soil as well, because it's got that black cow in it, and they like that stuff. I want to show you real quick also. This is where we also planted the cabbage, and they've sprouted. You know, they're doing their thing slowly but surely. We pretty much did the same thing with the cabbage, but I'm going to go ahead and fill this up. And in this hole here, I think I want to do ground cherries or Cape gooseberries. So I think I'll put that here. So I'll fill that up, and then we'll plant the Cape gooseberry seeds and come back. All right, family, so we got our hole dug and filled with new soil, which again made contact with the existing soil. And we've got our Cape gooseberry seeds in there as well. If you can see those little babies there, they sit right on top of the soil. This is Cape gooseberry, Physalis peruviana, I believe that's what it's called. They're in the family of ground cherries, but as opposed to sprawling, they grow upright, and they get a little bit bigger than ground cherries as well. So we're gonna cover this with soil, and then we'll water it and cover it. And that pretty much is it for this as well. One other thing I actually decided to do real quick was I planted some oregano here, basil here, to go around the Cape gooseberries. Last year I got a pretty decent yield of Cape gooseberries, but I think it was rabbits or deer that ate them, that ate most of them. So hopefully, you know, the smell from the oregano and the basil will kind of deter them from getting to it. And then here is where I plant the actual fig tree. And I'll plant a little bit more around it with other things, but this is pretty much what I decided to do just now. And, you know, just to kind of show you what I'm doing as far as planting and wood chips. So that's it for this one, family. I'm gonna keep on working. I just wanted to, and I'm sorry about the shaky camera, but I just wanted to touch on that real quick. And hopefully that'll be helpful to you know, to some of you who may be working with wood chips. Wood chips is a wonderful thing because it you know, absorbs and holds moisture, you know, so that kind of cuts down on the amount of times that you have to water. Now you do still have to water, you know, just because you put wood chips down doesn't mean that you don't have to water. You still got to water, but you don't have to water half as much. And then generally it gets to a point where you really don't have to water too much at all. But in the beginning especially, make sure you water, you know, where you put your wood chips down. But you know, again, that's it, family. You know, leave your comments down in the comment box. And you know, y'all know that I reply when I can. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.